the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, and Jerry Keysor.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report, show number 170 for March 11th, 2021. I did update the date on my prep. I got the right year now. Not back in 2020 still. It was a terrible year.
We don't want to be back in 2020. No.
Couldn't get away from it. It's the Hammer Down Racing Report presented by Oakshade Raceway, coming at you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hammer Report. You can follow us on YouTube as well. And you can listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever. Where'd Ron go? He was here, and then he did. I talked to him. We'll talk about that here in a minute. I actually created a Twitch page for us, and look, there's Ron. He's back now. Nope. He was here, and then he's gone. And then I realized that we can only stream to 3 platforms at once unless we pay more. So I'm sorry, Twitch fans. I know there's tons of them. I had lots of requests for us to be on Twitch. Not really.
Any on the hotline?
No. I didn't actually. Funny thing you should say that. Coming up a little bit later on tonight, we will have the Hammer Down Hotline. I almost forgot to click that little guy there. If you want to call, leave a message, be on the show, even if you're not a guest, right there, 419-318-3081 is the Hammer Down Hotline. Call it 24 hours a day, whenever you want.
Call early and call often.
Yeah, I won't actually answer it, but you can leave a message there. And, whatever. You'll hear later on tonight. We last week's how many Hammer Down Hotline phone calls we were going to get. People were asking me, so how many have you gotten? I'm like, I don't think we've gotten any, because I wasn't getting any notifications on my phone like I normally do. And then about 20 minutes ago, I decided to check, and oh boy, there was a few of them in there, and I had to hurry up and put them together. That's why I was scrambling around here at the last minute trying to get things ready. Not that you would know that, but Jerry knew that. Ron knew that too. Ron's back.
Hey, let me
Hi,
in.
Ron. Hey.
Hi there.
When are you getting your new internet or old internet?
I don't know yet. I was exploring options today. I'm working off of my phone today. The phone did an update a couple of weeks ago, and somehow it turned on internet sharing. So the last couple of weeks, I've been working off of our virtually non-existent internet. So tonight I'm on the phone. Maybe it won't freeze up. We'll see.
I got these things.
Ooh.
You can use them, and we're probably going to use them. I talked a little bit to Scott Warner over at Millstream about doing that live broadcast at one of their test and tunes. So I think that might actually happen. And I might do some testing and tuning. We shall see.
You got a mixer board and everything, right?
Yeah, that's over here. I'm not picking that up, but yeah.
I know. Cool.
Yeah, we're good. Thanks to Oakshade Raceway, who is our presenting sponsor and have hooked us up for this year. So, yeah, we'll have to do a live broadcast out there as well. Speaking of which,
who are you wearing today, Scott?
Who am I wearing?
Yeah, I figured today was Throwback Thursday. This is a vintage T-shirt, man.
What do you got?
It's probably a 20-year-old Ron Miller Race Cars shirt. You probably don't even remember when we had all the teal race cars.
Was I born yet?
Maybe.
Okay. What do you got on there, Jerry?
I'm rocking my Limaland gear tonight. Special announcement from Lima Land Motorsports Park. The 2021 schedule being released just a couple hours ago. So real excited about that.
Breaking news.
Yeah. Lima Land Motorsports Park has released a 2021 tentative schedule. We'll talk about that in just a little bit.
Yes. And also on the show, waiting in the wings, we have Ernie Woodard, the Boilermaker. We'll ask him about that. The 2019 Eldora track champion in the stock cars. Also 2007, 2009 Keysor Memorial winner, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, Ernie's one of the 2-time winners. One of the greatest guys I know at local racing. Was making a trip up from Georgetown, Kentucky to Limaland each and every week there for a few years and does it at Eldora. One of the guys who hauls a long way, but always fun to watch and very exciting.
So we'll talk to him in just a couple minutes. got to take care of some business once again. Thanks to Oakshade Raceway, we're the fastest meet to race. Still waiting on that schedule. I texted Chrissy a little bit ago, and it's still not out. But my fingers are crossed that we'll hear something soon. I mean, we got a few of the dates out there. Of course, opening night, April 24th. So we do have that, and we have the Dirt Track Truck Series announcement that happened last week that I didn't know was going to happen. There's Ron. Bye, Ron. Bye. He's gone again.
Bye, Ron.
He'll pop back. There he is.
There he is.
So there's a few dates up on the Oakshade Raceway website. Also want to thank Real Geese Silhouette Decoys, the most technologically advanced goose and duck decoys ever produced, manufactured right here in the U.S. Welcome back, Ron. Check out realgeese.com or call 419-800-8100. Millstream Speedway, of course, they're going to be returning to action this year as well. Check out their website, millstreamspeedway.net. Follow them on Twitter or Facebook. Couple test and tunes coming up in April. They're going to be having a live broadcast next week on Wednesday, I do believe. Is that the 17th? Wait, that's St. Patrick's Day. It's a special St. Patrick's Day broadcast, I believe. I don't know if Scott knew that, but we're going to do that.
We'll have to change our scheme to green next week.
Yes. Big D's Pizza in Clyde. Want to thank them as well. Check out the Big Nut Double Decker Burger, and also they're hiring delivery drivers. So if you're out there in Clyde and you need a job, stop on into the store. I don't think they're taking any calls, but stop into the store and apply for that. And also thanks to Ron Miller Race Cars. 734-856-7223 for race cars, parts, safety equipment, service, everything a racer needs. Just like me, I got an order waiting to pick up that maybe I'll pick up after the show and interrupt
safety equipment?
Yeah, I ordered a Hans. Did my Hans device come in, Ron?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hans device, new seat belts.
See, safety equipment.
Very cool.
Yeah. Let's check out that racing roundup, and then we'll get to Ernie here.
All right. This week's Racing Roundup is a little bit of action with the World Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars in action last weekend. Carson Macedo, the hard charger of the weekend, worked his way up from 10th place starting position to take the lead late and win Friday at Volusia Speedway Park. Saturday, the World Outlaws made their first trip back to East Bay Raceway Park in 38 years. Three-time All-Star Circuit champions, point champion Aaron Reitzel led all 35 laps to pick up a $10,000 to win entry. But I want to note, Carson Macedo started 17th on Saturday and raced his way up to third. A couple more cautions. I think that would have been real interesting. Reitzel was tough right up on the high side, up over top of the berm, but Macedo was definitely coming. World of Outlaws Morton Buildings Late Model Series, Chris Madden Smokey led all 50 laps in Saturday's Tennessee tip-off at Smoky Mountain Speedway for his 29th series win. Next up for the World of Outlaws Late Models, Friday and Saturday, March 26th and 27th at Cherokee Speedway in South Carolina. In NASCAR action, John Hunter Nemechek held off his boss Kyle Busch to win Friday night's NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Bucked Up 250 at Las Vegas. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. AJ Allmendinger won Saturday's Xfinity race in Vegas. And Kyle Larson, surprise, 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 back in victory lane, earning his first Cup Series win in just his fourth race back after his suspension. Larson beat Brad Keselowski by over 3 seconds on Sunday at Vegas. Next up for NASCAR, the trucks are in action at Atlanta Motor Speedway on Saturday, March 20th at 2:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. The Xfinity cars will be in action at Phoenix for the Call 811 Before You Dig 200 on Saturday at 5:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 in the Cup Series. Back in action with the Instacart 500 at Phoenix on Sunday at 3:30 on Fox. Other notes from the weekend, Max Stanball made the long trip down to Louisiana's Chatham Speedway for the USCS Outlaw Thunder Tour for the Bayou State Sprint Car Nationals over the weekend. Pennsylvania's Mark Smith swept the weekend, but Stanball finished 5th on Saturday and 4th on Sunday afternoon. Max Stanball going to be a very fun driver to watch in 2021 as he gels with that new team. And with that does it for this week's Racing Roundup.
So what were we going to talk about the truck race? Does it have to do with the spin?
The spin. We're going to talk about that later on during the news section later tonight. So,
okay. I'm looking forward to it.
No, you're talking about. I seen it in the notes.
I printed this off at 6:58. I think it was when I ran into the other room. So let's bring in our guest this week, Ernie Woodard. How's it going, sir?
How you doing?
Pretty good. Hey, thanks for coming on, and thanks for Jerry for hooking us up with you. Tell us a little bit about your background in racing, and we'll go from there.
All righty. Well, I guess I got to go back a little bit. I probably go back and start with my father. He's a long time raced at Eldora, so I've been going to Eldora my entire life. He started racing back in the early '70s, and I guess when my father got out of racing at Eldora, we got go-karts and started racing go-karts over at Willowdale Raceway. So we raced go-karts for 2 or 3 years, and then I guess the first year that I ran stock cars was probably 1992. We used to race. I was in Kentucky, and Dad was up near Eldora, so we used to go to Florence Speedway, run stock cars, and then somehow we migrated back to Eldora. So we've been running Eldora the last 25 plus years.
You still based in Kentucky then?
Yeah, I live in Georgetown, Kentucky,
Okay.
and I work at the Toyota plant down in Georgetown.
I see quite a few trophies behind you. Ron's got a few behind him. It looks like you might have a few more than Ron there.
Yeah, when I heard it was going to be on the show, I had to get set up like everybody else I see with trophies in the background. So yeah, I've had others say that to me, but I think it's a product of just racing a long time. Not that I'm winning a lot.
Now, you still run the stock car? You run a modified as well?
Yeah, primarily I race the stock car at Eldora. That's what I don't know that I've missed a race in 25 years. And then, I guess over the years, the schedule at Eldora, we used to run maybe 15 a year, and then it's worked its way down to 7 or 8. So maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, that's when I built a modified because I just wanted to race more. So I started running a modified maybe about 5 years ago.
Where do you run the Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, with that modified, you got the chance to get a thing off your bucket list and head down to Florida this year. Want to talk about that and how you did?
Yeah, I guess last spring I've gone down to Volusia. I've watched several times. Took a trip down there and watched, and I've just always wanted to go to Florida. So last summer I started thinking, well, I think I'm going to go down next year. So I had to. Anyway, there were several things I had to do. I normally don't race more than 1 or 2 nights in a row. So there's a lot of things. I had to get a different trailer and a truck. And so anyway, we headed down to Florida and things went well. I think I'll go back next year. And we got better as the week went on. And there were a couple other Eldora guys down there, Daniel Sanchez and Tony Anderson. I think they've been down there several years, and you could tell they were doing much better than I was, but I felt like I ended on a good note at the end of the week, and I could see going back for sure.
And you run a Roman race cars chassis.
Yeah, I do. I guess Brian built my stock car maybe 2015 was the first car he built for me, and then a couple years after that's when he built me a modified. So yeah, I've been running Roman stuff for the last 5 or 6 years.
How'd
Made
you
a big difference in the stock cars.
How'd you get hooked up with Brian?
Well, Brian has raced modifieds as long as I have it. I have old newspaper clippings of nights that he's won at Eldora and I've won at Eldora the same nights back in the 90s. So I didn't know Brian real well, but I knew of Brian just because we both raced Eldora for so long. So when I was thinking about getting a car built, it was a natural choice to ask Brian. Just I didn't really know anybody else, and I know Brian always runs well there, so I know he's got good cars.
So have you run head to head with him and beat him?
No, never.
Never beat him or never run head to head with him?
I think that's a tall order. To outrun Brian. Brian runs awful good in the modified.
Okay. So what? I mean, you got so many trophies behind you. Is there any one win that stands out as maybe one of the biggest, or a couple of them that are some of the biggest wins in your career?
Well, obviously winning the championship before the 2019 was big because, boy, I was second, third, or fourth in points at Eldora maybe 15 times. So I always had my opportunities, and there always seemed to be a reason that, we'd get a rain out and I never get that shot. So the championship was big. But I saw you posted some stuff about the Bobby Keysor race back at Lima. Those were big. I probably raced Lima maybe 3 years. I raced, and I got a handful of wins there. But it seemed like my wins came at opportune times, in that we won the big ones. I think you got the Fricky. The Vern Fricky was there. I don't know if they still have that or not, but those were some of the races in the Memorial Cup that they have. So some of those races at Eldora were big. And then I think maybe about 10 years ago, Jerry Butler or J.R. Butler sponsored a big race at Eldora, and we won that. So some of those races there were probably some of the bigger wins that I've had in the stock car.
So what did you end up doing last year then with Eldora pretty much not having any races that you would have been racing in?
Well, I had my modified ready to race, and I had my modified. I think we were ready to go to Florence about a year ago. You know, you've seen, everybody says, see what picture you took a year ago. Well, mine just popped up about a week ago. Was that I had my stock car, not my stock car, but my modified ready to go to Florence just before the pandemic shut down. So when it came out of that, I think I took the modified down to Richmond Raceway a couple times. And then I had some issues and had to pull the motor. So I was kind of down again. But I had my buddy, Eric Skaggs, runs my old stock car, and he took a job in Mississippi. So I hopped in his old stock car, and we ran Richmond maybe 3 or 4 times in the fall. So, but Shirley did not race as much as I would have liked. So that's what I'm looking forward to this coming year. I've got my stock car, I got my friend's stock car, I got my modified. Everything's ready to go racing. So I should have options every weekend. So I'm definitely looking forward to racing more this year.
Your friend's stock car, is that like a backup car, or do you run different tracks?
When I built the car that Ruhlman built for me, I had my old car, and a friend of mine started racing my old stock car. So he probably ran it at Eldora maybe 3 or 4 years. So when he took a job last summer in Mississippi at another Toyota facility, he pretty much it was his car. It was his car and my motor, one of those deals. So he kind of left it behind, and I put a seat in it, and I've been running it last fall. And actually, I think Richmond has their first race down here April 3rd, I think. So if I don't see any reason not to race his stock car down at Richmond coming up here soon.
Okay. So what are your plans then for this year? I mean, we kind of talked about that. The stock car and the modified. Has Eldora, have they put out a schedule?
No, they haven't.
They have. Yeah.
Everybody's asking, so we don't know what Eldora's doing yet. I guess my immediate plans are I made the cut on the 1-day registration down at Bristol next week.
Oh, are you doing that?
So my plan is to do that, but all day today I'm watching the weather. It's kind of raining everywhere. So actually this weekend, I think Clarksville, Tennessee has a 2-night show down there that I was going to go to a couple weeks ago, and it got postponed. But I see a bunch of rain coming through there, so I think I'm going to hold off on that. And then Florence actually opens up Saturday. So I'm kind of watching the weather. If weather permitting, I'll probably run up to Florence this Saturday and get myself pointed towards Bristol. I think Bristol's got practice sessions Saturday and Sunday where you can get on the track. And then the open modifieds race Tuesday and Thursday night. And I don't really know their point structure. If you run well enough, then you can get to the Saturday night show. So right now my plan is definitely to maybe go to Florence if there's no rain, and then get myself pointed, headed down to Bristol and try that out.
How excited are you to hit the high banks at Bristol?
I think it'll be pretty cool. It's probably another bucket list item. You know, who knows if they'll ever do it again, right? What was it, 20 years ago that they did
2000, I think, yeah.
I could see that, you know, if it was successful, I could see them doing it again. They definitely got you guys probably know better than me. There's definitely a lot of interest around it. There's a lot of racing planned. And so I thought, well, I better do it because never know if you'll get the chance again. And been watching it. It looks fast, but Eldora's fast, so it's something that I'm used to. Definitely with my stock car, not necessarily in my mod, but so hopefully I'm not too far out in left field, having run a lot of laps at Eldora.
I know we spoke
Ernie,
to Brian.
Ernie,
Go ahead, Ron.
Have you seen any of the practice sessions that they've had clips of?
Yeah, I've been hopping on maybe the last few nights. I've been hopping on that Dirt Bristol Nationals site or whatever, and I've been watching some of that. It'll be interesting to see what happens once they get more than a couple cars at once on there. It kind of looks to me like it could turn into a little bit of a follow of the leader, but I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I'm kind of excited to see how it's going to turn out. I definitely hope it's not follow the leader, but I was going to say we had Brian Ruhlman on a few weeks ago, and he had gotten his reservation or spot for the Bristol Dirt Nationals. But when we talked to him, he wasn't sure he was actually going to go. I don't know. Have you spoken to him recently? I think it was probably about a month ago.
Not. He told me the same thing a few weeks ago, and okay. I've not asked him whether he's headed down there or not. So that's a good point. Maybe I'll give him a call tomorrow and see what he's up to.
There you go. Maybe
I suspect if Brian goes, he'll show up down there on Tuesday, because it'd probably do me some good to go down and practice. Brian probably doesn't need the practice, I'd say.
I don't know. I think the track's different than it was in 2000, so I think it's going to be new for everybody.
Scott, there's reports that Jonathan Davenport said he didn't have enough motor for that. If his 900 horsepower is not enough, boy, that's frightening.
I'm guessing you probably go, at least from what I was seeing, the late model guys were going flat out, not even lifting in the corners at all. So that's gonna be crazy.
That's what it looked like to me. Yeah, they was it Ricky Weiss or the video they were showing of him, it didn't look like he lifted.
He was I think there's
15.2.
a couple miles an hour off of what Denny Hamlin sat on the pole last time they raced there on the asphalt. So pretty crazy stuff. Are you worried about, I mean, does that scare you at all, or are you just, that's exciting to you?
I'm more worried about my car usually. I'm not so worried about me or anything. Usually I'm, a place that's kind of the difference, I race Eldora and then go to a smaller track. When, you go down to a small track like Richmond, Kentucky, you can't get out of there without rubbing fenders, right? There's a fair amount of beating and banging, but normally you don't completely tear your car up. But at Eldora, the speeds are so high that when something happens, usually it's bad.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely got experience with tearing a car up at Eldora. So that's usually what I'm worried about, is not wadding my whole car up. Not so much about, I guess, my personal safety, but it's fast, but not too worried about it. And that's kind of what I'm used to.
Cool. Any chance you may hit Lima this year? We were talking a little bit ago. They just released their 2021 schedule, which we'll talk about a little more in detail a little bit later.
Yeah, actually, last year before everything hit, I had on my mind to try to go up there sometime, either with a stock car or the modified. And then
bring them both.
What's that?
Bring them both.
No, I've done that at Eldora. I think I'm done with the two cars at a track thing. That's anyway, that's a ton of work. So I think I'm just down to taking one car, but you might see me at Lima. I'd like to go back up there. It's been a long time since I've been up there, and we always ran good. And to be honest with you, I can't even remember why we stopped going. I'm only assuming that it just kind of got to be too much on a Friday night from Kentucky, because we're always
somebody tangled in the water.
How
tangled in the wire?
We're gonna mute him for a minute. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I like Lima, and we always ran good there. And like I said, we ran at least, I can't remember how long, but at least 3 seasons there. And I think the reason we stopped going was just, it was kind of tough on a Friday night with me working and everything, trying to get up there. But, and then, sometimes if Eldora run a Saturday, then you got the double show thing. So, but yeah, I could see going back. I like Lima.
How far of a
Friday,
drive
June
is that
4th
for
would
you?
be a great date.
Oh, yeah.
Friday, June 4th, the Keysor Memorial, 1,000 to win. So keep that one in mind.
Oh, we'll have to get that on the calendar.
And Jerry's going to be racing that night.
No, I will not be racing that night. My brother will be racing that night. I'm racing the following
Saturday?
night at Oakshade.
Okay, I gotcha. So how far of a drive is that to get to Lima for you? Like how many hours?
If you're in a hurry and you're not pulling a race car, you can do it in 3 hours. But I'd say pulling a race car, it's a healthy 4-hour drive, 3.5 to 4 hour drive.
All right, it's not as bad as I thought, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's probably a 3-hour drive to Eldora, but normally, we're going to Eldora on a Saturday, so you're not pressed for time like you usually are on a Friday. So.
Have you ever thought about running the Summer Nationals?
Yeah, I have. Actually, like I said, I had all these plans last year with my modified, and then COVID hit, and then I was only like 2 or 3 races in. I had motor trouble and had to pull the motor, so I really didn't get to do anything modified I wanted to do last year. But I definitely have already wrote it down on the calendar. I think. So there's several places where the Summer Nationals are close, I think, and I definitely wrote those down. I think there's some Sunday night shows or something through the week. Definitely would like to hit a couple of those this year for sure.
Cool. I
think going to Florida gave me a good flavor of the kind of guys that go to those races, and so it was good for me to go to Florida.
I know a track in our area that has a Summer Nationals date.
Oakshade.
Oh, there you go.
And I do know a Sunday night track that's reopening in our area starting this season. So
a little further up from Lima. Have you ever run Millstream?
No, I've never been at Millstream. I know my dad has back in the day. I think, but that was a different time. He used to run 3 times in a weekend, right? I think he'd go to Eldora, Millstream, and New Bremen in 2 days or something like that. So he definitely has run Millstream.
How big of an influence to your racing career was your father, or is your father?
Well, I think it was kind of huge starting out. I think a big part of it was, I never really did any racing while he was racing. So when he decided to stop racing, then that's kind of when I got the go-karts. And so it kind of worked out because, I see other racers and then their kids racing and they're trying to go with their kids and try to race themselves. It seems like a pretty tough deal. So it kind of worked out when he was done. And I was probably, I don't know, I actually got a late start. I was probably around 20, I'd say, when I started racing. So he was able to start helping me with the go-karts and then on into the stock cars.
How much knowledge did you get from him?
Well, early on, he kept the car when I was in Kentucky, and he kept the car up in Indiana. For years, I just showed up and drove. So knowledge-wise, I kind of relied on him to do everything and set the car up and do all that. But as things have transitioned, now I'm probably in a little different role in that I do most of the setup and stuff. But running Ruhlman cars, I kind of lean on Brian pretty heavy on what to run in my cars now. But back when we used to run the old Camaros, I don't know if there was a lot of science to what we were doing back then. But it's definitely a whole lot more technical nowadays. There's more things you can do to your cars.
Have you ever thought about moving up to a late model or maybe a sprint car or anything like that? Or are you content with what you're doing?
No, I think I don't ever see myself in a late model, and definitely not a sprint car. I mean, even like when I was in Florida and guys that I don't know, I was parked around, they're talking to me. I'm a stock car driver. That's what I've always done. So I view myself as a stock car driver that's in a modified. So I think maybe a modified's a stretch for me right now. So I don't see doing anything more than that. But I definitely like the modified because, the rules are pretty much the same everywhere except tires sometimes. And that's probably the only disadvantage to running the stock cars is that everybody's rules aren't the same. So my stock car is built too specific to like a Eldora Lima that it's hard to take it anywhere else. But my other stock car, which was my buddy's, the guy that built it, Dennis Robertson down here in Kentucky, he built that car, and he built it so that you could run the KDRA rules and run Eldora. So that's what I like about that car. I can run it at tracks down here in Kentucky. So that's the disadvantage around the stock car. It's a little bit too specific, so it's hard to go other places. But that's what I like about the mod. You can go run the mod every weekend someplace different, and you don't have to worry too much about. Like I said, the biggest thing is the tires, and that actually is irritating. That tracks that are really close, they change the rules just enough on the tires to create you having more tires than you need. So it'd be nice if everybody did the same tire deal.
So I got one last question for you. I don't know about Jerry and Ron, but what's the craziest thing that's happened to you on the racetrack?
Wow, it's funny that actually this came up not long ago, but I've been racing the stock car for so long that I've had so many situations when I think back of I've won races that I should have never won, and I've lost races that I should have won. So, I have old pictures of, with the checker flag at Eldora Speedway, and you can see oil coming out from under the car, and the car won't even run. I got to get a push truck, and we've won the race, or the tire's flat. And probably the most recent one was probably I think Eldora 2 years ago paid $2,000 to win for a race. It was like a family fun night, and I was right on the pole, and I couldn't get my car started. I got it started, and we pulled it out onto the track, and they asked us all to shut our cars off. So I left my car running because I couldn't get it started. Well, anyway, I went on, won the race, and afterwards I found the gear on the back of the rotating gear had all the welds were broke, and my father and cousin said they could see sparks under my car. So I don't know how much longer I had left in that deal, but that's probably the most recent thing that I can think of that happened, and won the race and probably shouldn't have.
So it sounds like you've had some pretty good luck.
Yeah, in that case I did. I've had several of them like that I probably shouldn't have won, and I did.
Okay, I lied. I have one more question for you.
Okay.
You seem like a nice guy and everything, but have you ever had any altercations with any other drivers, either on the track or back in the pits?
No, not really. I've had maybe over the years. There was I can't remember his name. I specifically remember there was somebody up at Lima over 10 years ago. Jerry.
It was Jerry.
And
I was just a spectator.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember who it was, but he's running for points, and I'm not running for points. I'm just showing up for a race. And I got into him. I can't remember who he is. If he's online, you have to text me or send a message. And I remember I got into him, and he cut a tire down and got in the wall and all this, and he come over and was pretty upset with me. And I remember I reached out to somebody at Lima asking for his information, and I don't even remember who I talked to, but they wouldn't give it to me because they thought I was going to do something. I'm like, no, I just wanted to. I ended up reaching out to him and offered him a little money to fix his car. I felt bad about it because he's running for points, and I'm showing up and I'm not running for points. But I'd say over the years, I've never really had a big altercation. Or I view myself as a pretty clean driver, and if I get into somebody, certainly most likely did not mean it because, you know, I don't want to tear my car up, and when you're getting into folks, you're just tearing your own stuff up. So I usually try to drive pretty clean.
So do you have like a racing page on Facebook or anywhere where people can follow you?
Yeah, I've got an old website. I think it's Woodard Racing, maybe .net. There's a website, and then I'm just on Facebook, so got a lot of followers on Facebook, and I don't turn down any requests. So I think I'm bumping that 5,000 range. I heard at 5,000 you can't get any more, so I've kind of stopped accepting some of them because I'm almost there. So they can just follow stuff on Facebook.
Okay. So do you have any sponsors or anyone you wanna give a shout out to for helping you out?
Yeah, I have Pam and Dave Hicks of Wendell's Poultry, and their whole Wendell's Poultry family. They used to sponsor my dad. They sponsor me, so they're good friends and family. So they've sponsored me for many, many years. I got Bank of the Bluegrass, Clark's Tire and Auto down here in Kentucky. And then I definitely get help from Brian Ruhlman and Dargy Race Engines. So I don't have a lot of sponsors, but the ones that I do, they've been with me for a long time. So it's very appreciated. Tires are expensive.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate the time, and wish you luck this season, especially at the Dirt Nationals there at Bristol. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, what do you think of all these the NASCAR guys coming down running in the Dirt Nationals? I'm guessing to get some laps before the Cup and the Truck Series race.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good for dirt racing and good for NASCAR. I know me personally, you know, I've just like a lot of dirt racers. I've been following Kyle Larson forever, so it's exciting for me.
You're probably just happy he doesn't run a modified, because he'd probably kick everybody's butt in that too.
I'm sure he would. So I'm excited to see him back doing well in NASCAR, because you know I had a few years there I wasn't even watching him, and with him back in the Hendrick cars, I've been actually sitting down watching races, and I hadn't been doing that for a long time. And I know when we were at Volusia, I think Joey Logano got in the modified. So there were a lot of NASCAR guys down there. So I think it's exciting to see him racing the dirt, and I think it's good for dirt racing. I think it's good for NASCAR that they kind of bringing the two worlds together instead of fighting them, you know.
Cool. Well, Ernie Woodard, once again, thanks a lot for coming on to the show tonight, and good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me. Thanks.
Thanks, Ernie. Look forward to seeing you at Limaland this year.
All right.
No pressure. See ya. Ernie Woodard there, a very cool guy. Looking forward to seeing him at the Dirt Nationals, and hopefully gets up this way, either Limaland, maybe Oakshade Summer Nationals. That'd be cool. He's still listening, so get Summer Nationals.
Summer Nationals, Millstream. Come to Millstream.
Oh yeah, Millstream. Yeah,
Millstream.
You need a place to go Friday or Sunday nights. Millstream.
There you go. Go to Lima on Friday, relax on Saturday, and hit Millstream on Sunday. Make a great weekend out of it.
All right. Well, coming up, we have this week's How Many, and winner of last week's How Many giving away Big D's Pizza. Got some news to cover here, and then we have the Hammer Down Hotline to get to as well before we wrap up this week's show. Racing news, we had Indianapolis Motor Speedway and Texas Motor Speedway. They've become COVID-19 vaccination sites. So, racing for the cure, sort of. It's a different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw something. They had like 19 lanes of traffic for that. So,
wow.
Cool. Yeah. 20,000 spectators will be allowed at the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. That's the IndyCar race on April 23rd through the 25th. That's actually 20,000 per day, not total. The race was shifted back from the first weekend in March so that more fans could attend. So apparently that was a good move for them. Kyle Busch spun with a flat tire in Friday's truck race at Las Vegas. It appeared that spin may have been intentional to draw a caution, and Busch's post-race interview response when asked to walk us through the spin was, Nope.
I'm just here so they don't find me.
Yeah, I should have got that actuality. And last I saw, NASCAR was having discussions about that. That was a couple days ago. I didn't follow up on that. So I know you wanted to talk about that, Jerry. Do you think that was an intentional spin? Do you think he should be penalized?
You know, with guys like him, it's hard because his attitude makes people look bad on. But I mean, if I or you or anybody else were in the same situation, what would you do?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough call, but it's.
And how do you determine if it's intentional or not? Ron, what do you think?
I don't know. Guys do it all the time, especially you watch the big league dirt races. Those guys are pulling cautions all the time.
It happens at our track.
Kyle Busch is good enough that he could make it look totally accidental.
What do you think about the short track solution is 2 cautions and you're out? What if they implemented something like that in NASCAR?
I love that rule. I love it everywhere I go racing at. I think it's a great idea because it in turn is going to help speed up the show. When you got guys drawing cautions intentionally, you're doing it multiple times, that turns into a mess. But you're going to get taken off the track.
The other side of it is The other side of it is, Jerry, we're not franchise multi-million-dollar teams that feel they have a right to be out there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the
a lot of money involved
there. I don't know that the 2 caution rule in NASCAR would fly.
3 cautions, maybe.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Maybe it's something they could look at. Maybe put a limit to it. But I mean, still, 3 cautions is pretty gracious. That I'm going to spin if I got a flat tire. I need to get that caution flag so I don't go a lap down. I still got 2 more left in my pocket. So what's the chances
Sure.
are you're going to need to use all 3? But then you could get caught up. And I'm saying you're the cause of the caution as opposed to, if you get caught up in somebody else's mess, that wouldn't count.
Oh, so now we're going to put judgment calls into it. No, I wasn't the cause of that caution. Yeah, okay. Uh-huh.
Well,
that's the biggest downside of it is having to make a judgment call. That's tough from the tower no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer
Scott,
is.
you have my feeling on judgment calls. You just can't. You're going to get burned with them.
Yep. That is, yeah. And yeah, some people are happy with judgment calls and other people aren't.
That's why I really like stop on the track, you go to the back. Spinner, spinning. I hate judgment calls.
Do you guys see the new SRX cars, the Superstar Racing Experience cars? I meant to pull that up. Either of you? Do you guys see them?
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Definitely a little different. Kind of looks like a 1980s Ferrari with the big wing on it. Oh, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, kind of.
Magnum PI-ish.
Magnum PI-ish.
Paint that sucker red and get to grow a big mustache, you're in there.
What do you think of that, Ron?
I didn't see the pictures of them, Scott. So, oh yeah, yes I did. Yeah, it looks like something probably an idiot could drive. Looks like lots of downforce. Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, it's interesting. They finally revealed that this past weekend. If you want to check out some more views of that, check out our Twitter page at Hammer Report. Testing at.
Have they had any driver input on the cars yet?
Yes. Who was it? Kenny Schrader that was doing the testing this weekend. He said it was great. I think it was Kenny Schrader that. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it was Kenny Schrader. Anyway, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Ricky Weiss, his average speed doing the testing at Bristol on the dirt there in his late model, 125 miles an hour. Last time the Cup cars qualified on the pavement, because they haven't been qualifying in a while, the pavement at Bristol there, Hamlin's average speed was 129 miles an hour. So they're getting around there on the dirt.
Yes,
they are. Car gets there with that wing.
What's that, Jerry?
Wait till the sprint cars hit the track with that big wing and all that downforce.
Yeah. When did they do testing? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I hadn't seen anything yet. I'll have to keep my eyes open there.
Yeah. Yeah. Dave confirms what I thought. Yeah, it was Kenny Schrader that was doing the testing of the SRX cars. PRI is going to return, Performance Racing Industries. This year's return of the world's premier event for motorsports professionals will take place December 9th through the 11th at the Indiana Convention Center, downtown Indianapolis. Are you excited about that, Ron?
You know, I am. I haven't been to it for a couple of years. Obviously, this year was an off year, but it's a good time, and you get to see a lot of people and everything that's new. Yeah, it's going to be great. And with everybody being off from COVID last year, it's going to be jam-packed.
Probably, and hopefully there won't be any restrictions by then. Fingers crossed. Kevin Harvick.
They could still move it. They could move it to Florida.
Or Texas. Kevin Harvick's going to race in the Truck Series at Bristol in the dirt, and I believe he's also added a few Xfinity races to his schedule for this year. The Hell Tour has added some more races for the summer because it's not the Hell Tour unless you make it a total Hell Tour and put in as many races as you can. This is assuming you run the whole series. It's got to be real grueling. Some added dates include July 6th and 7th. You got Knox County Fair in Knoxville, Illinois. July 7th is the Belle Claire Speedway. Got Randolph County Raceway July 21st. Lake Ozark Speedway on July 23rd, and that's just for the late models. The late models and modifieds together at Richmond Raceway in Kentucky on July 25th. I bet you Ernie's probably going to be at that one if he's not doing something else. Yeah. More guys running the...
I'm not sure they've been in Belle Claire for a while, but seeing as many cars as they normally start in a Summer Nationals race at Belle Claire, that'll be an interesting show.
Okay.
Tight little
I don't know that much.
50-mile track.
Is it? That's pretty small.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott, he's announced he's going to run a dirt late model at Bristol for the Dirt Nationals. Pretty soon it's going to be the entire Cup Series. We'll be running the Dirt Nationals in a late model. He's going to be running for Advanced Motorsports out of Clinton, Tennessee. Brad Keselowski is going to be running a crate late model tomorrow night at Cochran Motor Speedway. So these guys, I think he's getting some practice because isn't he running a crate at the Bristol Dirt Nationals? So yeah, he's probably getting some practice there. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is going to be on CBS, the network, Channel 11 locally here in Toledo, 5 times this year, starting with the May 29th Show Me 100 from Lucas Oil Speedway, which will actually be broadcast on June 27th. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like any of these races are going to be live on CBS, which would be much cooler, but pretty cool seeing the dirt late models on a major network there. Of course, CBS, the network that's going to be covering the Tony Stewart and Ray Everham Superstar Racing Experience 6 races Saturday nights. That will be live on CBS. It's my Brent Musburger imitation. Do you like that? CBS.
I wonder if replays will be that, Scott. I wonder if replays will be available for those, maybe on CBS Sports Network. Some of us are kind of occupied on Saturday nights.
They make these things called DVRs.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus. You can catch all that.
What's that? Paramount Plus? That's right. The new network that just started on March 4th. I saw the commercials during the Super Bowl.
Well,
there was
they
only
took over
2
CBS
of them.
All Access. So.
Lima Land Motorsports Park. We talked about this. Here, we need to. This is important stuff here. We need to do it right.
Breaking news. Lima Land Motorsports Park has released a tentative 2021 schedule featuring 13 events starting on May 7th with the NRA Sprints, Modifieds, and Stock Cars in action. And finishing up on August 6th with the 2021 award celebration featuring the King of the Quarter Mile races, the Pit Party. That'll feature NRA sprints, mods, and stocks. USAC notable dates. May 14th, the USAC Midwest Thunder Midgets will be in action for the Mike Stryker Memorial, first annual Ron Colley Memorial on May 28th. It's also part of the Memorial Cup. The 20th annual Keysor Memorial takes place on June 4th with the non-wing sprints. The stock cars racing for 1,000 to win. Also, the UMP Modifieds in action and the Dirt Track Truck Series involved in that one. All-Star Sprint Speed Week date on June 18th for Limaland. And then we have the UNOH 100th Centennial Night on July 16th. So should be a great season. You can get to the full schedule at limaland.com. Also, you'll see that on our website and everybody else sharing it all over the web right now. So hope to see everybody at Limaland on Friday nights.
Some other notes about that. They're going to be what's that, Ron?
Jerry, is the 13 shows pretty traditional for them?
Say again. I'm sorry. Broke up just a little bit.
Yeah. Is that 13 shows, is that a pretty traditional season for them?
A couple of years ago, they started cutting the schedule down just because with taking care of the school and everything, and attendance was down. So this has been a pretty much the same thing the last couple seasons. Personally, I'd like to see a few more shows on the schedule, but it makes for a compact, nice, quick schedule, and it's pretty predictable. So,
and they said that they're going to be closely following any and all guidelines put forth by the Ohio Governor, Ohio Department of Health, and Allen County Public Health. At the current time, they're only allowing 30% occupancy to outdoor events. That includes Limaland. It is their hope that they will increase the 30% guideline between now and that first opening night, May 7th. And also, they had one other note in an effort to eliminate rumors. And I hadn't heard these rumors, but apparently there's rumors going around that Lima Motorsports Park was sold. Well, it has not been sold. It is not for sale. UNOH will continue to own and operate Limaland Motorsports Park now and in the future. So.
Yeah, there were some rumors going around, and they pop up from time to time. But this time around, some people that was very surprising to see sharing the rumor caused some concern. And after speaking with the powers that be at UNOH, I've been told 100% false that Limaland is not for sale, nor will it be for sale. Obviously, everything's got a price. Don't get me wrong. Somebody showed them stupid money that I'm sure that it might be for sale. But I mean, UNOH is the nation's leader in high performance motorsports training. For them to have a racetrack is nothing but a feather in their cap. I could never see the university letting go of it. So
let me ask you a question, because in their release that came out a little after 5:00 tonight with the schedule. It said tentative schedule, and that they're hoping that the capacity gets increased. If the capacity is only 30%, do you think that they will still go ahead with that schedule?
Personally, I think it's borderline. I really do. And that's just based on the little bit that I know. I can't go into detail, but I
didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
No, it's okay. It's quite all right. I do know that we're very hopeful that by May 7th, it'll be a little bit better, that we'll, expand it, 50% or more.
Or move the track to Florida or Texas. You'll be fine.
No. But hopefully by the summer, we're 100%. We're all back to normal, as normal as we can be, and everybody gets to go racing. So that's what we're hopeful for.
All right. Coming up, we have tonight's How Many. Before we get to that, here's your results for this week's poll, our Twitter poll, which was a pretty lame one. But I like the hand signals part of it. What's your preferred method of communicating with a friend? Phone calls? Nobody calls anybody anymore, but it's still got 30.8%. Texting, that's pretty popular, 53.8%. Nobody apparently emails their friends. And hand signals. That was what I was going for. Yes, you're number one. Yes. Can you hear this? Should I turn it up? Yeah. So, there you go. We're done with that.
Don't go there, Scott.
Yep. Moving on. Two. This week's how many? Last week's, actually, we'll cover last week's how many first. How many Hammer Down Hotline calls will we have for this week's show? And actually, Matt messaged me this morning. Asked, so how many do you have? And usually my phone tells me when we get a message on our Google line there, and I hadn't gotten any messages. So I was like, we got none. So, and then I checked as soon as shortly after I got home and ate dinner tonight, and we had a few. We had a few, and there's some interesting things, and that's coming up here shortly. We had seven Hammer Down Hotline calls, and you can hear them in their entirety here in just a little bit. So our studio winner was Ron, who picked 7, and we had several people have the right guess online. So let's bring out our Big D's Pizza Wheel to determine this week's winner of a Big D's Pizza. Share the screen here. We got the ladies. The ladies guessed right. All 3 guessed 7. So we got Robin Johnson, Gretchen Knapp, and Rhonda Heitzman. So here we go. We're going to find out who the winner of that Big D's Pizza is this week for this week's How Many. And we lost Ron again. He's going to miss out, and it looks like... Yep.
Gretchen. Congratulations.
Gretchen Knapp. Winner again. She's been on a pretty good streak recently.
Yeah.
So, congratulations. Got Big D's Pizza. Get with Dean Henry. I was supposed to get you information about something. We'll talk after the show.
Yep.
This week's How Many is how many views of this episode will we have on YouTube by Monday at 8 p.m.-ish? YouTube. I was actually looking on our YouTube the other day because we don't really promote that very much, and I was surprised. I was like, so I'm going to have some more views than I thought. Instead of like 1 or 2, there's actually 100, couple hundred. So this episode that we are doing right now, episode 170, on YouTube or by Monday, I should say, because obviously after Monday you watch it, it's going to add more. So you get one guess. You can put it in the comments of our Facebook Live. Don't put it in the YouTube Live because I don't check those as often as I probably should. So come on over to our Facebook Live. You can do that. This will still be up even after. Oh, yeah, Ron's back. Hi again, Ron. We'll have this up after, or you can watch the replay whenever, but we'll say Sunday at noon. You can do it Sunday at noon. So you're listening to us on the podcast, Google Podcast, whatever. You can still get in. Just log on to Facebook, find this, and put your comment in. 1 million. Scott
1 million.
Yeah,
views.
I'm sorry. I'd be impressed if we got that, Scott. He's very optimistic, but yeah. So leave your comment or leave your guess in the comments of our Facebook Live. You get one guess. You guess more than once. You get black flagged. You guess the same number as somebody else. It's all right. We'll do the Big D's Pizza Wheel and figure out who the winner is again. So, again, that's how many views will we have this episode on YouTube? Because we are live on YouTube, and you can watch it even after. It's just like the Facebook Live. You can watch it after it's live, and a lot of people do that. Some upcoming races. It's getting close. Not this weekend. I don't know. I was getting a little excited there. Attica Raceway Park, just around the corner. Racing season. I mean, it's the weather today, yesterday in this area. I think we should go racing. Why not?
I think we're really close.
Yeah, construction equipment and supply night. 410s, late models, 305s. Gates open at 5. Racing at 7:45. General admission. Remember the general admission prices have gone up a little bit this year with the increased payouts for the late models and the 305s. So $18 general admission for adults. They do have a rain date of Saturday, March 20th. Should they need it, rain or snow, whatever. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. It's been pretty good so far, this week at least. It's supposed to rain today. Did it rain for you down there?
We got a little bit. It wasn't terrible. Everything dried out pretty quick. I will say that Atomic Speedway is also in action.
That's
this
right.
Weekend, they got their bash Saturday, or the springtime bash. Going to have a demo derby and some other things going on. Then they got the Lucas Oil late models next Friday as well. So lots of racing action getting ready to kick off all around our area.
And I was going to call Rex before we came on tonight, but I was scrambling around at the last minute, so going to try and get Rex Lejeune on for next week, talk about Attica and the upcoming season.
Happy birthday,
there.
Rex.
Is today his birthday?
No, it's never really his birthday. We've always announced it. Blake Anderson and myself and Brian Liskey.
All right, then. Anyway, now I lost my train of thought. If we don't have Rex on, I have Rick Eshelman book. I'm going to try and push him back following week because I want to get Rex on before Attica starts their season. I have to put someone from Limaland on to talk about season. Do you know anybody from Limaland?
I know a couple people. We might be able to get somebody on.
Okay. How about we do
Ron's guess for the?
Oh, we didn't do our guesses for the we didn't do our guesses. Yeah. I just totally skipped past that. So Ron, you won last week's how many? So you get to be the first guess. I don't know if you saw this week's how many views will we have for this episode on YouTube by Monday at 8:00?
135.
I like the 35. I see what you did there. Has Kathy got does your secretary have a vote this week?
She says 65.
Ooh, she's not as optimistic. What do you got, Jerry?
I'm half as optimistic as them. I'm saying 37.
Ooh, Jerry. Ooh.
I'm going with 150.
I'm playing that low end to get everything up to.
I should have gone 136, but I already said 150, so I'll stick with that. So, all right. Now let's check out this week.
Gotten the black flag, Scott.
Well, can the flag man black flag himself? This is a question for Matt Swander. I don't know how that works.
It depends on what he's wearing. I've been wanting to black flagging for his fashion taste for a while.
All right. Hopefully this uploaded okay. It looks like I uploaded it twice. This is this week's Hammer Down Hotline. Again, if you would like to call and get on the show for whatever reason, just at the end of the show, we'll do the Hammer Down Hotline. 419-318-3081 is the number. And here we go. Here's our 7 calls from this past week. And yeah.
Brah, hey, brah, hey, brah. Hey, brah, go on Skip the Games, brah. And check out on Skip the Games, brah. Check out Gordita Latina. Mm-hmm. Extra cheesy. The girl looked good to me. She looked like Pamela Lee. After 9 Coronas, I began to kiss her. Under the zipper, she looked like Claudia Schiffer. After 9 Coronas, when I met her at the bar, she said she was on my watch. When she got into my car, she looked like a Sasquatch. Bow, wow, 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 9 Coronas. She kind of looked like Mr. Spock. Live long and prosper, but she was Courtney Cox. After 9 Coronas, we were hot with passion. We were messing. After cuss, she looked like Jennifer Aniston. After 9 Coronas. Late into the night, I rode her like a Hardy. In the soft candlelight, she looked like Gramps Farty. Bow, wow, wow, wow. 9 Coronas. She was fat and sticky and kind of stinky, but she looked like Christy Binkley. After 9 Coronas, she looked like Pee Wee Herman. That's my name, don't wear it out. But she was Uma Thurman. After 9 Coronas, in our 23rd position, I think I got whiplash. She was really bitching, except for her mustache. Wow, wow, wow. 9 Coronas. First of all, babies, I would like to thank Brian and Scott Hammer for all the love over the years that they've shown me. I would like to thank the many fans throughout this country that wrote cards and letters to the American Dream Dusty Rhodes while I was down. Secondly, I want to thank Jimmy Crockett, rest in peace, Promotions, for waiting and taking the time, because I know how important it was. Starcade 85, it is to the wrestling fans.
It is to Jimmy Crockett Promotions. And Dustin Rhodes, the American Dream. With that weight, I got what I wanted. Ric Flair, the world heavyweight champion. I don't have to say a whole lot more about the way I feel about Ric Flair. No respect, no honor. There's no honor among thieves in the first place. To put hard times on Dustin Rhodes and his family. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Hard times are when your textile workers around this country out of work. They got 4 or 5 kids, and they can't pay the wages, can't find food. Hard times are when the auto workers out of work, and in turn go home. And the hard times are when a man been with the job for 30 years, and they give him a watch, and kick him in the butt, and say, hey, a computer took your place, Daddy. That's hard times.
Hi, Hammer Down Race Report. This is Rhonda Heitzman. I won the How Many contest on this last week's show. Since I am listening from Washington State, it's probably not going to work for me to get a pizza, so I would like to donate my pizza to the wonderful guys at the Dirt Nerds podcast. That'd be Elliot Aldrich and his lovely wife, Nicole, and Dwayne Hancock. I would like to do that for them, and let me know if that works. Thank you. Bye.
Hammer Down Hotline. Long-time listener, first-time caller. My question is, what happens first in 2021? Scott wins in the Ocho, or does Ron Miller get reliable internet service at his shop? Or, final choice, Terry Hendricks actually smiles while driving the water truck. Thank you.
Yeah, that all happened.
Hard times, Daddy. Hard times.
I appreciate our audience. They give us so much. We just hope we can give back. To answer the last caller's question, what do you think, Ron? What do you think? What's going to happen first? Terry's not going to smile ever.
I'm going to gloss over the middle one, and I don't know. Maybe we can get Terry to smile.
You think so? I have seen him smile.
Yeah,
it does happen. I don't know about on a Saturday night.
I'll go one step further. I'll have the camera down there. I'll get him to smile.
Okay. And hopefully,
maybe if we have a young lady stand by the fence, and well, we could get him to smile.
So what's going to happen first, though? That, or Ron's getting better internet, or me winning a race? I'm going to think that one of the other two is going to be first. That's a tough one.
I'm thinking one of the other two is going to be first.
All right. What do you think, Jerry?
I think
Ron has total control over one of these things.
I think the Ocho makes it to victory lane.
You think so? I think during the test and tune, it may make it to victory lane.
Well, there's B-mains, too.
I'm going to win the test and tune. That is my bold prediction.
Oh.
Scott, you can't win hot laps, but you sure can lose them.
I go out and try and win hot laps every week. I think you're supposed to do that.
You can't win them.
This is true. I have lost them once, and it sucks. So, again, next week on the show, we'll either have Rex Lejeune Rick Eshelman, voice of the World of Outlaw late models, former announcer at Eldora and Oakshade, Millstream, Toledo Speedway. He's been all over the place.
Yeah.
So tune in Thursday, 7 o'clock. That's when that happens. Don't forget to like us, follow us on all of our socials. HammerdownRacingReport.com is also available. Limaland
Limaland.com for your copy of this year's schedule.
Thanks again to all of our sponsors. Please support them. They make the show possible. If you don't like the show, support them anyway. Oakshade Raceway, where the fastest meet the race. Real Geese Silhouette Decoys. Check out realgeese.com. Millstream Speedway. Check them out at millstreamspeedway.net. Big D's Pizza out there in Clyde. Ron Miller Race Cars. And that's it. We're done.
Hammer Down Hotline. Call. Call early, call often.
There you go. And, it doesn't have to be a dumb message or
serious
one that goes on for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't
even care if it's about racing. If you got something serious you want to talk about, call us.
And we should probably respond. Yeah, we can transfer. I don't know. Most contests are non-transferable. But Dwayne's a nice guy. Ellie's pretty nice too. So we'll donate the Rhonda's Big D's Pizza to the Dirt Nerds podcast. So
sounds like a plan.
There you go. Only if they share it with us.
I'm just thrilled that we got a listener in Washington State. How cool is that?
We're worldwide. We have listeners in Australia. It's crazy as that may sound.
Well, I know that.
We're organic.
Yes, organic.
Yes. All right, we're out. We'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.
Good night, everybody.
Hey,
Oh, that was the wrong one. Now we're leaving.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.